I don't know what happened to our intro today.
Are we on?
Are we on?
We're on, yeah.
I can't do that.
You can't. You got to have your lead in.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm
I
not ready
I don't
for
know.
that.
I don't know what happened. It was there yesterday. It's gone today. But
I think Pope is behind this.
John Pope.
John Pope.
We know what you did.
well, we don't know what he
Newman.
did.
We don't know.
It was Newman.
I'll have to figure this out later. But
Hello, Newman.
Well, it's just a brain exercise, you
Yes.
know, getting it all
I
sorted
think
out.
I have. But yeah, when I hit the button, it said it can't find our lead file.
and I'm just
Weird.
and I'm just realizing that that intro stuff is like I gather my thoughts.
Yeah,
I
you're
get my
ready.
game face on, and now I'm just kind
Well,
of
now I can't get our logos to
think
show
we're
either.
thanking everybody for kind of helping us get through this little awkward moment of.
Here we are.
Okay, there's some logos.
All right, here we go. Cut.
A little bit.
We got
Okay.
logos. We're getting it together. We're getting it together.
It's gonna be a
We're
show.
professionals.
Tom,
Right,
welcome
Tom?
back, man. How are you?
Tom's slowly edging himself out of frame to dissociate himself.
Am I still in frame?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
For now,
Yep.
we'll let you know.
Tom, what have you been doing?
I just finished we did a theater production. It was like actual folks came to a theater and I was up on a stage and I performed, well, with the rest of the cast, we performed. It was a production of The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Fun.
And so yeah, it was fun. It was fun to get back up on the stage, and we had pretty much sellout crowds. I mean, granted it was half capacity, but we had sellout crowds and the audiences were awesome. So we had a good time.
That's great.
It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. I bet it feels good to do that stuff.
It does. It did. It felt good to give it out. I got to see some old friends that I had done theater with over the years, which was nice, back up in Jeff City. So yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
Very good.
Now tell me about this trailer that I just watched all the way through to get a little glimpse of you at the very end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a film we did in October, and they're finally getting that was the teaser. I think the trailer comes out next month, and then the film is supposed to be out end of March.
That's
And
exciting.
I kind of play the bad guy. in
You
it.
looked like a bad
You seem
guy.
like the bad guy.
It looked like the bad guy.
You've got that
I was
sinister
sold.
look
If I had
about
to
you.
guess.
Yeah. I was like, I think he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And that'll be out on Netflix. That'll be out on
Yeah, it'll be on all
Disney Plus.
Hulu.
Disney
I think
Plus.
HBO Max is going to have it on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'll go to festival to start off with, and then they might put it onto a streaming service of some sort, but I'm not sure which one yet.
How long is it going to be? Do you
I
know?
think it's like 45 minutes long, and
Nice.
they're looking at having multiple episodes. So this is kind of like a proof of concept to get distribution, and if they like it, then they may recast it entirely, or they may
Get a new bad guy.
get a new bad
Get a
guy.
bad guy?
Get one that's better. You can get someone like
I don't think
George
they'll ever
Clooney in there or something.
recast the morning show.
I don't like George Clooney as a bad guy. What'd you say, George Clooney?
I'm not a big George Clooney fan. Fight me. I'm sorry. He's just not.
I watched
not my
Oh Brother,
cup of
Where
tea.
Art Thou
Oh,
again,
that's a great
like
movie.
two days ago, and I just
It's a great movie.
I started with Shayna, and I could tell 5 minutes in, she's just like, "Nope, can't do it."
Wait,
it's
which movie
just
was
not.
this?
Oh Brother, Where
Oh
Art
yeah,
Thou.
that's a good one.
It is phenomenal, and my kids are kind of peeking in. They're like, "This isn't funny," and I'm like, "No, it is hilarious.
it's just awesome.
It's just
the whole
amazing.
thing is great.
OFT.
Yeah." RUNOFT.
It's just a great movie.
We're not a one at a time in it here, boys. We're mass communicating.
Get a fire in the can.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, that is so
I
good.
can't quote movies.
Yeah,
So,
well, it's only in guys. Like
I don't
guys
know.
are the only
I don't
ones
know.
that
I
can
can't do
quote
it. It's
movies.
I always misquote them, so I'm not even gonna try.
We've evolved as a gender
Oh, is that
within our
what it is?
species to be able to quote
to
movies.
be able to quote movies. Oh, interesting.
Cavemen couldn't do it, but
No,
we can.
but you guys can.
Yeah.
Well,
Ain't
that's
you gonna
good.
stop and press the flash, Pappy?
It's a great movie. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, it's
So what have you guys been doing? Because I've been gone for, it feels like a couple of weeks.
We've done the my hands are torn all to heck, and we've done the classic home renovation weekend.
Nice.
Where, you know, when you bite off a project that you're like, that's a good idea, and then you start doing it, and you're like, oh no, this is a lot of work.
It's going to take twice as long
Yeah.
and cost 4 times as much.
Jesse, though, that dude can work and knock out a project I mean, he went into beast mode this weekend. I don't really want to say
job,
what
Jesse.
we're doing, but it was hard and really messy, and he was on scaffolding. I was on scaffolding, some cleaning up afterwards, and it was quite a crazy project. So that's what we did this weekend.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I don't even know. Oh, I went to St. Louis to watch 2 soccer games and drove back all on Saturday, and it was
That's a day.
33 degrees,
Oh man, that would.
30-mile-an-hour winds, and spitting snow.
Was it
Yeah.
outside?
Were they outside?
Yes, outdoors. Yeah, yeah. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was lovely. So, got up 6 a.m., drove, and got out of the car, and I was like, all right, they've got a 45-minute warm-up. I'm going to go run 5 miles, which seemed like a great idea because at the beginning of the game, I was warm. And then things changed.
And then it all changed.
It was so cold. Oh, yeah, it was
The
miserable.
things we do for our children.
Uh-huh, yeah. All
Will, how about
a
you?
lot of love.
I think it's pretty boring.
Boring's not bad.
I cooked a little bit. Got out the griddle.
That sounds great.
Made some
to me.
potatoes. Played a lot of Call of Duty.
Oh, I used to play Call of Duty. I think it was.
My kids are always like,
I
Dad,
am-
play some COD. No, I'm
played-
horrible at first-person shooter games.
Oh, I am too, because I'm new to it. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to play Halo back in the day. It was pretty decent, but I'm all new to this Call of Duty. But I played for a while. I got pretty decent. My kill ratio is usually above 1 now when I play. So I think that's good. I'm killing more than I'm dying, which,
Oh,
is a good thing.
Our
more than I can
viewership
say.
is
No, I-
dropping rapidly.
I'm that guy who's like, I'm scanning around and I'm looking up and then I'm down and I'm like, and then my boys are playing games. They're like tapping me on my shoulder before they gut me, from behind. And I'm just like,
Oh man.
we came out of nowhere. Dad, I was behind you for like 5 minutes, just
Yeah.
It's like,
tapping your
what?
shoulder.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah,
I feel like such a
Like I said,
boomer.
it's really not
like,
that
just give me the Nintendo NES. Like, there's a couple buttons and a
Oh, I
pad.
know. Evie's been playing Zelda on the Nintendo Switch, and that's kind of fun
Oh,
to
wow.
watch Zelda.
You know the
Is the
thing
music
about
the same?
Yeah.
Because I could just sit in the room and listen to Zelda
Yeah, it's the
music.
same. It's
Oh,
totally
that's
the same.
beautiful.
yeah.
I can
But
hear
the
it in
thing
my
that like
mind.
kids today I don't think will ever understand is like Zelda. You couldn't turn it off. Like there's no save feature
Right.
Oh,
on Zelda.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had to play it straight
Now
through. You
the
quit.
later ones there was because
Yeah.
there was a battery inside there,
Yeah.
and that was the only way you could be able to save the game
Your progress,
was
yeah.
with that if you had the one with the battery in it.
Yeah. Well, I remember playing Zelda back when I was in college. It's
Yeah.
like you can't turn the game
Yeah.
off. I mean, if you got like this close to the end and the power went out,
Yeah.
Devastating.
All right, what video game did you spend most of your time on as a child? Like
As a
back
child?
into your childhood.
okay.
Mario Kart.
Well, so I'm a super geek and I'm older than y'all. So the Ultima series of
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
what that
on-
is.
they were computer games.
Computer games, yeah.
But it was like you made your wizard or your
Right.
warrior or your
Wizard.
thief or
It's like
whatever.
D&D type stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And there was like, I mean, they went up to like 8 or 9 or 10, I don't know, but 4 was I think the height of the series for me.
I have not heard
Ultima
of that.
4 was the best there was. I liked that one.
Yeah.
And you'd have a little party. You'd start as one character and you go around and you like meet other people. They were computer controlled because there was like no internet or anything. But yeah, that was my game.
No internet?
Tecmo
What?
Bowl
Oh yeah.
Bowl, yeah.
and
I still have that.
Contra.
Fourth
I
and
played
Contra.
Contra
Come
some
on.
with the
down,
guys.
up, down,
yeah.
left, right.
But-
EA start.
But then
Oh
did
my-
you get where you could beat it without the cheat code?
Yeah.
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 You had
Yeah,
to
I played
learn
with- It
first
took a
with
long
the cheat
time to
code,
get
and
there,
then
yeah.
When you have brothers, you just play whatever games you get.
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, I guess I'll play Contra.
a part of the game?
I'm
Yeah, I-
Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cut my teeth on Atari, and my favorite Atari game was Yar's Revenge.
Ooh,
Yeah.
was good.
But
This is before
Oh,
my
no.
time.
but on the NES, it was of course Contra was my favorite. Tecmo Bowl I probably played more than that, and RBI baseball.
Yeah,
played
we
more
played
than
a lot.
anything else.
I believe that Yar's Revenge is actually stolen from me, the idea, a copyright violation.
No,
Yep.
Just like the honey
No, it was.
mustard.
Because I remember Breakout,
yeah.
yeah, like the honey mustard.
Like the honey
they stole
mustard.
honey mustard from me, and they stole Yar's Revenge because I remember the game Breakout. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you reversed it,
Yeah.
where you were trying to break through
Knock
to the
down the
bottom,
wall.
knock
Yeah.
down the wall,
Yeah.
and I drew it all out in 5th grade with like crayons, and I mailed it to Atari. And about
No.
a year later, they came out with Yar's Revenge.
You did not mail that to
Is this a
Atari,
real
did.
story?
dude. You
It's
had to,
true.
like we all knew you were a nerd,
It's totally true.
but you took your nerd level to the next level.
Atari
right there.
owes you a lot of money.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just waiting for the check.
Yeah, you keep
So
waiting.
does McDonald's for honey
I
mustard.
exaggerate and make up a lot of stuff, and I live by the motto: never ruin a
That's-
good story with the facts. But that's
good
a
to
true-
know
that's
now.
That's a true story. Yeah, I literally did that.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
My mom would like those recipe contests for magazines. She's like, don't send recipes into that. You know why? They're gonna steal your recipes and then use them in their magazines.
Yeah.
I was like,
What?
well, of course that's what
That's
it's
what they're
for.
doing, of course.
It's not really, yeah.
Shared ideas.
Share. Win the cookbook.
Yeah.
No, they
Make
want
us
your
money
recipe.
by giving us good information.
Now I'll give anybody a recipe that asks for one. I always think it's a little strange when
Oh,
someone won't
Emma
share
came
a
up with a
recipe.
good one, of course. Oregon Trail. Who didn't play?
Oh,
that?
gosh, yeah.
But you know what?
Dysentery.
We only had like
Dysentery.
because back when we had Oregon Trail in school, we had one computer.
Yeah, you had to
Oh,
share.
yeah.
So you got like what 10 minutes
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
up there,
You got
and
time
you
to
go up there
play
and you
Oregon.
couldn't type, like coyote fast enough, and then you
Yeah.
were dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but did you get where you could stay after school and play? Because that's what I would do. Is I would stay afterwards.
Yeah, we didn't get to play after school.
So I was in 6th grade at the middle school here, which has now been demolished, which was condemned when I was in 7th grade, and they tore it down.
Here.
And we had a TRS-80 computer with it was an IBM compatible, had 5 1/4-inch floppy disks
yeah.
that we played Oregon Trail.
And those were actually floppy.
They were
They were,
actual
yeah.
floppy. People didn't know why do they call these floppy disks?
'Cause they were-
inside the
Yeah.
hard shell,
Yeah.
3.5s. But actually, one of my favorite recent memes was about that. It's got Terry Crews on there. It says, "Isn't that a girl's name?" It says, "You have died from dissing Terry."
Oh, snap.
Oh, nice.
Oregon Trail was fun. Yeah, I remember like the computer lab where we had like probably at that point 7 or 8 of those computers and we played some Oregon Trail. Remember typing class?
Oh, yeah.
That was always fun.
I took typing class on typewriter though.
I did too. In fact, I think I was the last class
Yeah,
at
we were
Republic
the
High
last
School.
class.
Yeah, it was 1990.
It was.
Freshman year and learning
Do
to
they
type
still
on a,
have typing classes?
Well, they
Or
do.
they
It's
still
just
do
on a
that?
computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keyboarding.
Keyboarding,
is what-
yeah.
So one of the things I got in trouble for in high school, and
I
there
don't know
weren't
if
a
it was just
lot, and I never
inherently
really
known.
got in
Probably.
trouble, because I was a good kid, but I did stuff, and it's like, dude. So back in the day,
Yeah, I was one of those too.
you didn't have. Yeah, I'll bet you are. We didn't have hard drives in any of the computers, and so you had to boot them up off of a floppy disk. And so
Yeah.
we had 4 PCs in the business room at the high school in Rogerville, and they had one boot disk that they booted them all up off of. And I went into that.
And you put a magnet on the one.
No.
Okay.
I went in, I took the boot disk, I went in and edited the AutoExec INI file at the beginning.
Oh, geez. So
Change-
what popped up?
Instead of coming with a C prompt, it
Mm-hmm.
just came up and said, "I just want to be loved. Is that so wrong?" And no cursor. And so
No cursor. So they didn't know where to.
they had no idea what to do. And so
See,
they
I'm
boot
just
up-
nerdy enough to know
That's
what he's
so
talking about.
cheesy.
but-
They
That's
boot up all
awesome.
these computers and they're like, "What?" And here's what's the funny thing is. They just come and get me. they,
There's like, Will.
they knew it was me because I was the only guy. In the
Well, you
school.
should have had it come up. Do you want to play thermonuclear war?
Yeah, yeah.
Shall we play a game?
Yeah, shall we play a game? Yeah,
Well,
there you go.
that phrase though, it was I don't remember exactly where it came from, but it was a John Lovett skit off of Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live.
Oh,
I
okay.
just want to be loved. Is that so wrong?
So
And
there's a purpose.
So
That's
it was,
great. That's how you know that's a good kid pulling a prank because the bad kid who knew how to do that would have
Would have
not
said
put
something
that.
very different.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
would have put
yeah.
a cuss on there.
Yeah.
Michelle says
My
Oregon
girls
Trail
call
was
it a
rigged
cuss.
and no one
Cuss.
ever won.
My wife?
Yes,
Your girls have
Yeah,
never heard a
she's
cuss,
correct.
but
Yeah, she's
No, they
correct.
never have.
Okay, you're
Nope.
correct, Michelle. Tom says so.
You win points, baby.
But they just came and got me. It wasn't even.
It's like,
they knew.
Yeah.
They knew who
oh,
to
Will,
get.
come on down. You got to fix this.
Only one nerd that would do this.
Go get Will. He's getting beat up in the back.
Might as well put him in detention. He won't get beat up that way.
Oh,
Hence
man.
why Will took Taekwondo.
He's like, you're not wrong. He's
Not wrong.
like,
Too funny.
oh, man.
Well, we've relived the 80s and 90s now, so
We've been on a journey this
I have
morning.
more stories, but I'll save them for later.
yeah.
I was that type of kid too, though. I was a good kid. I had good grades, but I also would question authority, and
What?
yeah, and occasionally would do something ornery. There was a big cheating scandal in middle school, right? Okay, so the coach / I guess it was a history class.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say it's got to be.
Yeah. He had a sub and he left the test answers out on the projector, right?
Oh, man,
So,
yes.
and I can't remember why the test answers were there, so somebody snagged them. So
Yeah.
they were circulated throughout the entire
It's a crime of opportunity.
grade.
Yes.
Correct. And so, I was a smart kid, and I'm like, well, I mean,
I'm smart. I could learn
if I've
this,
got
but
the answers, and I'm like, no, I don't want them. And then somebody's like, Lauren, take the answers. And I'm like, okay. And I wrote them on my desk. So I am doing the test, and the sub is in there. And I'm like sliding. I'm looking at the answers, and he catches me. And then I'm like,
so you were not good at this.
no,
You
not
had
at
no
that time.
experience.
No, I had no
Yeah.
experience in cheating.
I could've helped you.
on history tests at that time. And so, I don't just get caught. Lots of people get caught cheating in this whole cheating scandal.
Let's go get Lauren.
No, I didn't narc. Other people got caught, and then it got circulated around that so and so gave out the test answers. And anyway, 6 of the non-trouble kids end up in the office. You know what I mean? Well, I just start arguing my case. Basically everyone had these answers. This is ridiculous that I'm the only one getting in trouble. It's not our fault that the answers were left readily available.
Teacher's fault.
Teacher's fault, whatever.
Entrapment.
I
Yeah.
argue. And finally, Dr. Woodhelm, who I think is still a superintendent somewhere, was like, just fine, Lauren. Just fine. That's how I remember it. It's probably
I
different
can
than
just
that.
see in
Yeah.
his head. He goes, "She's gonna be a real
This-
estate agent."
This is not worth my trouble. Just go
I
to class.
remember, it was so funny though, because I somehow convinced I got to retake the test and keep my grade, and other students, their parents are like, "You got to keep the bad grade," and I'm like, well, "I'm just saying. I mean, you got to argue your point." I don't even remember my parents coming in. I think I just handled it.
Isn't that most of what our education was learning how to navigate things? I mean,
Well, yeah, that's part of it.
I would never want my kids to think that cheating is the way through, but
No, it's
I
not.
pretty well cheated through high school. I just did. And I'm not ashamed to admit that because I thought I was dumb, so I thought I needed to. What it did was
Did you really?
No,
That's
I cheated my
interesting.
way through high school, and so the pastor, I really did. I never
Blood
did
of
my
Jesus
homework.
covers it all. So
Well, what's ironic is I did it because I thought I was dumb, so I thought that was, but I hustled. I always got my work turned
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So there was something about I had to hit the
Just so there was
deadline.
somebody else doing the work. for
Yeah.
you.
So what happened was I went to college and I just was struggling, and my
Well,
roommate
yeah.
was like, "Dude, do your homework," and I'm like, "What?" He goes, "What? Do it." He goes, "You're smart." I'm like, "No, I'm not." He goes, "You're smart." And sophomore through senior year, I made straight A's in college. Went to
Really?
through seminary and got straight A's, 1B plus. We're going to pray for that professor right now because he was wrong. But anyway,
Oh, yeah.
but I learned
Hello,
to do
type A
my work.
personality.
But part of it's just part of the process. We all get there.
Yeah, I mean,
in some ways.
even the
but-
best students. I mean, because it was a real weird deal with me. I had bad grades as a little kid, and then basically, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd grade rolls around, and it's like, oh, they kind of forgot to
Yeah.
teach her how to read.
Yeah.
Like my mom's like, I'd go to the classes, like the teacher meetings, and be like, oh, she's so cute because this is a little doughy-eyed kid with dark hair, and amongst a sea of blonde kids. Which is how my girls are. It's really
kids.
funny.
And again, I want to say cheating is not okay, but just take
Yeah.
it easy on the cheaters because they're learning the hustle. They're
Yeah.
getting it. They're learning how to meet deadlines.
well, there's
But yeah,
another
They'll
kind of,
figure out the right way later.
there's another kind of educational problem, and not with the kind of shooting for the middle, which is what I think we do in our education system. So if you're kind of on the smarter side of all that, high school, all that is really easy, and maybe even college isn't that hard. But
I would
it's-
have said college was easier than
But
high
at
school.
some point,
See,
if
I don't
you've
agree
not
with
had
that.
to, if school has been easy and you've never had to work and it just came really easy to you, and you never learn how to study, and you get somewhere else,
Yeah.
you eventually get to the point where like your natural ability to just absorb won't get you by anymore. And you're like, oh crap! And so you get kids that hit high school or wherever,
or college or master's degree or
mastery,
whatever.
and like they can't, they're done because
Yeah.
they never learned how to study.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've heard.
Well, if you want to find out what if you
would
want
that
to
be
find
like?
out what I was like in high school, just this talk of high school gives me anxiety.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, I absolutely did not work in the high school environment. at all.
Really? Interesting.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me sick to my stomach even thinking of high school.
Oh, I loved high school, but I just, for me, it was just a social event, and I had really no interest in learning anything.
Middle school was a struggle for me. That's probably where I hit my first round of depression was
Hey,
in middle
well,
school.
middle
and
school
didn't
was
know
a-
what it was.
Middle school was a struggle for everybody.
Yeah.
Some of us pretended
So weird.
Yeah.
and
I
came
never
across as if
recovered.
we were okay.
You
Yeah.
never recovered. You were
Never.
just stuck in the
No.
cycle of middle school.
I hated every minute of school.
Oh my gosh, Tom,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
I got better in high school. I got picked to be on student council. I was doing assemblies, so I got a microphone. I got to be in front of people.
Will's first mic.
Will's
and
like,
I
I'm
was
here.
like, yes. I love this. This is
At
great.
some point, yeah, they recognize your nerdiness, and they were like,
they-
yeah, Will will do the hard work. Let's let him have it.
They
Yeah.
stepped into it.
Yeah.
So
He
yeah.
enjoys this.
I
Let's
do.
let him have it.
Pope's back.
What's up, Pope?
Half the cast of Breakfast Club is sitting right there.
Yes. Oh, wow. Gee,
Well,
Dad, that's great.
I don't know. I had a pretty good high school experience, I think. I mean, I was a cheerleader.
I think we're
and-
missing Molly Ringwald. Another
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have a Molly. I'm not a Molly.
No, I was picking you for Ali
Those two
Sheedy.
friends.
But
Yeah.
that's okay.
It's fair. It's fair.
So weird.
I think
So
I got
weird.
Anthony Michael. What is his name? Anthony Michael Hall. I think I got him covered.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a
Judd
cheerleader.
Nelson on the end down there.
Emilio?
Yeah, you're Emilio.
Emilio.
I think we got it.
Oh my gosh. Woo. Isn't it funny though how high school, like, you think, okay, well, that kid enjoyed high school, or like I would never have guessed that you had a bad time in high school. I would never have thought that. And it's really interesting. It's like, it's even the cheerleaders, the football players, the top tier band and intelligent people, they all had crap that they dealt with in high school. Yeah, it's a weird time of life.
What's weird for me
I'm a Cabernet.
is that...
Yeah.
Yo, what?
A Cabernet. I've gotten better with age.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, I'm with you now. I was like, you're filling the blanks here for me. Yeah, what's weird for me, though, is that the
Not that smart.
the stereotypes that we grew up with really don't exist
I don't think
much
they
today.
exist
'Cause
anymore.
My kids will watch stuff, like they watched the Breakfast Club with me the
Yeah.
other day. And they were like, was it really like that?
Yeah,
And I'm
it
like,
pretty
yeah,
well
it was really
was.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
You mean guys would like fight and
Oh.
like fist?
Yeah.
a lot.
They
you
fought
know?
a lot, and girls fought too.
And
yeah.
It was just a different.
I didn't fight in school.
Yeah.
Oh, they were nasty.
They were
Girl
nasty.
fights were nasty.
There was
Scratches.
hair and nails.
Oh my
and,
gosh.
yeah.
I mean, always
Yes.
pull each other's
There was
hair,
always
like-
somebody's hair getting grabbed and a face going into a locker. you
Does
know?
that not happen anymore?
No.
I didn't know that.
They don't fight anymore.
They kick 'em
And
out
we're
of
not
school.
saying they should.
No,
I'm just-
you shouldn't fight at
We're
school.
not promoting violence.
Maybe after school.
Yeah. After school.
No,
up at the
it
park.
was. I mean, there were jocks and there were smart kids and there were like, we called them honkies, like the
Goat
there,
ropers.
Yeah.
We had goat
there
ropers.
were like the goth kids
Yeah.
and nerdy
Preppies.
kids and
Emos.
preppies, and
Preppies.
there were preppy kids, and
Yeah.
my
Moms.
class was pretty awesome though. I had a really good class and we all just kind of meshed pretty well
Of course, you
together.
probably only had, what, 3 people in your
No,
class,
there was like
didn't you?
90 in my class.
Speaking
but,
of, is there a new Saved by the Bell coming
There's
out? Did
3
I-
of us.
I think
Did I hear that?
I think there is. Yeah.
yeah, I think I heard
Because
that
the
too.
young people are getting into the old Saved by the Bell, so
Yeah,
There's
I've
a
heard
new
that.
Saved by the Bell?
yeah, and I'm curious to know how that. Yeah,
I didn't
'cause
realize that
I think
the-
all the old cast members are now the adults
Oh.
in it. So,
So is there not as clearly as defined niches of people in school anymore?
yeah,
I don't
That would
know.
probably be discrimination
See, I'm not there yet.
They're- yeah,
of some sort.
they're not allowed to have categories anymore. They're
I'm
all
not
just
there
on their
yet.
phones.
That's true.
They just look on their
Oh,
phone.
so I was doing this show up in Jeff City, and it totally floored me. So, like, between scenes, I'm standing backstage, and I'm watching what's going on stage. I'm in the show's going on, and I'm waiting for my moment to walk up there on stage and do my scenes. And everybody in the cast is on their phone
this.
backstage.
Yeah.
You mean they're not talking?
Nobody talks.
Nobody talks.
Nobody interacts. Nobody was
That's a
having
bummer.
sharing moments, like being backstage, which is one of the things I loved about
That's
doing
the fun
theater.
thing about doing any
Yeah.
sort of
Here's
theater
what I think
production.
So
about
I've realized that I don't enjoy doing theater as much anymore.
That was half the fun.
because
It's just the
you
work.
lose that kind of that team
Yeah.
or that interaction of going into the fray together.
Mm-hmm.
You get off stage, you don't talk about, oh man, I messed up that scene or blah 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 blah. It's like, and they're texting people, and I was like, oh no, we're together here.
There are people
here's,
here.
Here's what I think, and I think this comes from getting older. Is that I think the older you get, the more you realize things change, and so yeah, I know that's what people do now is they get that, but I think that in the next 3 to 10 years, people are going to recognize that and they're going to get out of that. There's going to be a
hope.
fix for that. There's going to be a
Probably.
change for that. Either that or
The
we're going to go
pendulum
deep
does
dive. One of the two.
Yeah, it tends to swing back and forth.
But I was telling somebody this the other day is if you've watched technology over time, I'm going to nerd out on you again. Whatever a new technology comes out and there'll be like 10 different ways that it works. Like you used to have Friendster and Facebook and MySpace and all these others, and
Hey, Tom.
you've got one.
MySpace.
What was it?
Tom for MySpace.
I remember
Tom,
Tom for MySpace.
And then they but then they either coalesce or they merge or they go away, and you end up with one. And so you used to have like VHS, Beta, all that stuff,
Right.
and now you went to but they moved together, and so right now you got all these different streaming platforms. They're going to get narrowed down. I think the same thing's going to happen with some of this social stuff too, with the whole we're on our phones all the time. We're going to realize that that's pretty hollow. And we're going to start, and people are doing it already, seeking out for real connection with people.
I hope.
And I think we're going to see
A lot of
that.
them were
I think
playing
we'll see
video
correction.
games. Like they had these little games on their phone,
Yeah.
and they were playing.
Well, and I do too. And I'll catch myself. I'll be at home watching TV with my wife, and I'll realize I'm playing Balloons Tower Defense on my phone.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
like, okay, I got to put that down.
We
we've
have
been
a look at our house that we give to each
Yeah.
other. Michelle, if you're watching.
Well, she was.
we give each other a look. Like we'll be having coffee in the morning. One of us will pick up our phone, and then the other one will just
Just
kind
be
of
staring.
The other one will just drop their phone, and we just kind of
Yeah.
like.
and then we start them.
Well,
and they're
and
like, oh, hey, what's up?
And I sometimes I try to intentionally like leave it in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just where it's
That's
out
the
of
only
reach.
way it works for me.
Because if
is
it's
make
within
sure-
reach,
Yep.
I mean, it's just an autonomous reaction to pick it up or something dings.
Well,
and
I mean,
you
I
look at it.
remember a lot of time that I was bored as a kid, where there were, especially like car trips and stuff, there was nothing to fill your time, and you just sat there and looked out the window. And I
Or
mean,
the alphabet game.
play. Oh yeah, and like play the alphabet game. I played it 6 times. I don't want to.
I don't want to look for another cue.
There's no signs. Oh yes. And then there was rounds of fighting, with the siblings. And then you went back to playing the alphabet game. So I mean, I remember there was a lot of time as a
Schizophrenia
kid
of that.
that I was bored, and I was very much outdoors and do things, and even then. But so now we have this thing that just default fills time, and I catch myself doing that too. I'll
It's
be
the end of
watching
the world
a
when that
show.
battery goes dead.
Yeah, I'll
Give
be
me the
watching
charger.
I
told you to charge your portable charger.
I have a solar charger for my phone just in
sure you
case.
do.
You have a solar charger?
Oh, I do.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do. I haven't found
For a
one
while
that has
there,
crank charger.
in the mornings, I would intentionally not pick up my phone till I would say I can't pick up my phone till 9 o'clock.
Just give yourself some rules.
I gave myself a time. I could read a book,
Yeah.
but I could not do that.
I need to do that better. I feel this obligation to manage some of the pages, which is just honestly an excuse to be on it, and to manage some of the pages that I have to for different things I'm involved in and whatever. And because frankly, most of the stuff on the news feeds now is really not very interesting anymore. It's really gone to this default sharing of stuff, not original posts and content that people are making, which is why I originally liked Facebook so much. And
Now it's curated.
yes. And so on Saturday when we were doing all this work and Sunday, because Jesse was doing a lot of the work and I was making homemade foods on Saturday, and I realized I hadn't looked at my phone in most of the day. And honestly, it felt really pretty good. And I need to have more days like that where I'm not looking at my phone for long chunks at a time.
It's great because you do it and you're like, wow, I don't need this as much as I think.
Yeah,
I need.
you don't. You really don't.
So get off Facebook.
But you
Yeah,
should watch.
except
watch
for right
K-ROG.
now when you're watching
Yeah.
us.
K-ROG.
Don't
Yeah.
watch us and then put it down.
Right.
Technology's wonderful. Just put it in its proper place.
Yes.
Put it in its
Exactly.
proper category.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
But if you have to be on Facebook, watch the morning show.
Watch the morning show. Yeah.
I mean, I hope we've given some sort of useful information this morning. Probably
Nostalgia.
not.
Nostalgia.
It has been
We
nostalgic.
took a trip for sure. So in the here and now, what's going on in Rogersville this week? Anything? Girls basketball is finally
yes,
playing.
that was cool.
Go Lady
Good
Cats.
to see that back on the
Yeah.
air last night.
What else? Anything new?
I'm doing my little talkie talk tonight.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
that's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where's that at?
Lawrence
Heritage
Place.
Post,
Oh, cool.
101 North Mill Street.
Yep.
We understand that Patrick Mahomes does not have a concussion, but a neck injury, and he will play.
Have they said that formally?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when you heard concussion, you thought, no, that will be re-diagnosed because that man will play next Sunday. Like, we know this, right? Because if you say concussion, he's out.
He's out.
Yeah.
But so he had some kind of a nerve issue in his neck, but it's all good now. He's been healed.
So he will be playing against the Bulls. Bills.
Bulls.
Bulls.
The Bulls.
Against the 1997
The Bulls.
Chicago Bulls.
The Bears. The Bulls and the Bears. Talk about some good SNL skit material right there.
Good stuff.
Yeah. The Bills.
Oh, man. I don't know what's going on. I get to go to court today. That's fun. I'm
really?
the plaintiff in a small claims court.
Oh.
So that's
I
great.
just want to come watch
excited.
that.
I don't know.
Judge
I'm
Judy or
so-
Judge Will?
Can you live stream that?
Be like,
Oh.
Judge, wait a minute. Can I put this on K-ROG? And he'd be like, no.
Can you? Will? Is it legal?
No, you can't. You have to file a motion to have the judge allow.
First thing
cameras
you
in the
do,
courtroom.
I'd like to file a motion. How long will that set her trial back? I'd
Oh, my gosh.
like to file a motion
Judge
for what?
could rule on it right then and there.
Oh, please.
That'd
Can
be
we-
funny. I could actually draft the motion for you, like from
Oh
K-ROG.
my
K-ROG
gosh.
intervenes.
I just
to
want it
live
over.
stream Lauren's small claims case.
This would be fantastic.
Golly.
The look on Lauren's face is like he might do that. I'm afraid he might do that.
I just want it over. I just
He's already
don't wanna-
texted the judge. He's already on it.
The hours I have spent dealing with this situation is beyond frustrating.
You should live tweet it.
I don't have the Twitter.
Did you
Don't
get
have the
canceled?
Twitter?
Did I get canceled?
Did your Twitter account get canceled?
I don't have
Oh,
Twitter.
you never had
I
one.
never had.
Okay.
I
Never
never
had
did
the
it.
Twitter.
I just didn't want to remember another password.
Yeah.
So I canceled my Twitter account.
Did you?
Not.
Did they cancel a bunch of Twitters?
No, I
Yeah, they
canceled
did.
mine on principle
so
because I never
ridiculous.
use it, and I'm like, well, I'm not. If they're gonna start canceling people, I'm gonna just cancel them.
I'm like, I've got the Facebook, I've got the Instagram. That's all I can do.
Yeah, I've had a Twitter account since way back when, but I rarely used it, and it's just never caught on with me.
I'm just an observer on Twitter. Is all I do.
I don't even
Yeah.
look at it that much. Facebook is kind of my go-to. For
Twitter was better for news. I would go there.
I
For,
did find out that Michael Jackson died from Twitter.
Oh,
That was where I got that news. I was in
He
Little
died
Rock.
from Twitter.
No. I
he
found out.
from Twitter.
I
that
found
he
out
died.
from Twitter that he died.
I didn't realize Twitter was around when he died. It's been a long
He died
time.
from a.
I just had this image
died
of
from
Michael
Twitter.
Jackson looking at his phone, and he goes, "Tito."
And that's why you're an actor. That was brilliant. That deserved an award right there.
Thanks for watching, folks.
We're leaving it on that.
Yeah, maybe.
Why
I don't
not?
know.
Have a great
So-
day, Rogersville.
Yeah.
See if the outro works. No.
No, it's gone.